Bill Sutton TV, Wingnuts, what's going on, what's happening? Hey man, if you're trying to like purchase a Crown Victoria, man, I got a few things for you. I'm gonna just jump right into it, man. First, man, you buy Crown Vics differently than the way I buy Crown Vics. I don't give a damn the condition that it's in. You guys who's spending a good piece of change, you got to figure out your budget first. And once you figure out your budget, then you can move forward on what you want to buy. Then you got to ask yourself, yo, do you want push bumpers? Go buy a car with push bumpers. Don't go buy a car and then later on say, hey, I want to put push bumpers on it. It makes no sense. You got to figure out what car it is. Like, is it a patrol car, a state car, detective car, or a canine car? Kind of do some research. If you can't, just see what it is. All the black and white cars are basically patrol cars. You know that they mainly city cars or township cars do have high idle hours. So research that. State cars have high mileage, but low idle hours, but broken in very, very well. The K9 units are basically low mileage, very clean on the outside and in the front, but it may smell like that. So if it does smell like that, you just got to do some heavy cleaning. So you'll have to really deal with that. Get a car with pretty low mileage. There ain't that much miles on this engine here. It's going to vary from car to car. You may see one with 200,000 miles and it runs better than another one that has 68,000 miles. You know what I mean? It just varies, man. So the mileage doesn't really matter. But I would suggest you to keep it, under 130,000 if you can. I'll pick up a car with 150,000 or 200,000. I really don't care because, whatever, how I do it. But, for you guys who are buying something, you should, keep the mileage kind of low. Idling hours is 393 on this one here. Now this is a 2008. Now I bought this car with a combination with the other car that I have for $700. Also, you can click the link above and it showed you what was wrong with the car and why it was so daggone cheap. But the idling hours is really for extra maintenance. That's really what it is, because police and fleet vehicles often experience long periods of idling, during which the engine oil will continue to break down, but the mileage is not accumulated on the odometer. To assist the fleet manager's proper oil changes, the idling meter will help you determine when oil changes is needed. So in combination with the odometer and idle hours help maintain the cars better. That's what it really does. So like I told you in a lot of my videos, combination. But also I think it goes by how long the car has been on too. Even if the car is just sitting idling, it should go up and the mileage will not go up. Check the drive line, check the trans, check the rear. The trans, make sure it shifts good, check the fluid color, and check the fluid level, cold and hot. If it's the same level, cold and hot, the trans pump is basically bad. Because this was what this one is. Sometimes these rears go only because they start to leak. The fluid runs out and then it starts to make noise. So check for fluid leaks. Because this one here, the rear is leaking. It's leaking in the front seal by the front yoke of the rear differential and stuff like that. You see a little bit of dampness. Now with this car here, it had a bad trans. Well, not really a bad trans, but the flex plate was broken, which in conjunction hurt the trans, which in conjunction hurt the rear main seal on this car. There's a photo there. You have to check underneath your car and make sure that it's nice and dry. You got to do that. Just get underneath there and check it out. Now also too, man, when you go inside your car, man, you start it up and you're going to check all these here, and make sure the actuator is working. Very seldom I ran into that. The Lincoln Town Car one didn't work. Just turn it on and make sure that it works. And also too, don't forget about these switches. These go all the time. That's a given. Now, along with that, you have to check these out. See these here? They leak on some of them. You may see some, water down here depending on how bad it rains and what angle the car is in. But these do leak. I had a few that leaked. I had stopped it. I just put some cleaned it up underneath there because it was sitting for a very long time underneath these moldings. It's crazy because like if you pull these moldings back right around here together and you see how they got the gooky stuff in there, you got to make sure this stuff here is all cleaned out. I did the best that I can. And then underneath here, I put some little sealant underneath there, so you won't have to be dealing with that. Maybe, depending. Just check it out anyway. When you go and check or want to go buy one of these cars, man, please check the car when it's cold. You want to run up on the man before he even starts the engine up. Because if you got there and the engine is running and it's warm already, be a little skeptical. Let the engine cool down and then go back and start it up. Because you want to hear for engine noise on startup. Could be the chain, could be the pump. You know what I mean? You just want to hear it cold starting up. Because you don't want to buy the car, go home, and you hear it and it's starting up, sounds crazy. And also too, you look around. Because sometimes these people here, because I got caught with a couple of times, the valve cover was leaking. So that's why it's very important for you to leave that car on. Changing this valve cover on this thing is not a simple task. This side is good. This side is very difficult. You see that there? Most cases you got to take out that thing there. And most guys do not want to take that out if that valve cover is leaking. And the alternator you're going to check out. You know, when you turn this thing on, you're going to put everything on. AC, everything, fan, everything, headlights, everything. You just want to see if anything dims up. You know, which it should dim up, but you know what I mean, you want a drastic dim. You know, just check it out. Put it on load and everything else like that. And also too, man, check and see if the alignment is straight. If you look at this wheel here, see it? It's cocked. It needs alignment. Because this wheel is straight. It's real simple to do. You can see the alignment way off. And also too, man, check and see if that pump is leaking. Because it's known to leak sometimes. So, you know, you check that pump out. And these things are just going to bring the prices down. You know, sometimes when the engine is too clean, I hate that because most times, you know, people are trying to get that off. Always check the steering shaft too. They do go because, as you can see, it's close to the exhaust and they do start to bind up. Check this. Ooh, the car was just on. That's why I was doing that. Go up underneath here and check and see if they got any bars leaking there. Check that out. Got to. That's what I didn't do on that Lincoln. If this thing here is dark color, you know what it is. Really, the number one thing is that goddamn transmission, man. Transmission, that drive line. Definitely got to check that out. The engine 9 times out of 10 is on the go. Then you want to take it for a test drive. When you take it for a test drive, you go left, right. You hit all the bumps and everything. You're looking for, hearing for any little squeaks, pulsating on the brakes, rear noise. You're looking for like wheel bearing noise, all of that stuff, muffler clanging because maybe one of the hangers are loose. And, you know, just check everything, man. I mean, it's really nothing special. It's just that you just got to check these things. You know, these cars are old, but they really are well maintained. I mean, you probably wouldn't have to worry about most of this stuff because the cars are very, very well maintained. I mean, down to the taxis are pretty well maintained depending on what area you're from. Buying a car from a private guy, you'll be able to drive the car and really feel it out and see what's wrong with it, like Struts Shocks or anything. But now if you're buying it from an auction, you're kind of screwed because they drive the car up, you bid, you buy, and then you drive away with it, and then you find out something is wrong with the car. But you'll have time to really look over the car as you should. But they'll clean this thing pretty damn good. So, you know, you don't really know what you're getting into, really. That's sometimes you guys may think about what years to buy. 2006 and up, if I'm telling you. You know, the 2005 is kind of special because it has an antenna on the right-hand side in the rear. And the 2004 is semi-special because that is the last model that they ran the throttle cable. Me, I would go 2004, preferably 1999. Now, 1999 for me, I like that car because it seems like it's faster, but it isn't. In the old model, the 99 seems like it was a little bit more aggressive, man. I don't know why. It seems like it probably had maybe a better tune or a better shift point in the trans or something. I don't know. The 99 seems dope. The steering was better in 2003, so that means that I would just get a 2004. If any older models, 2004. That's what I would go with. So basically, 2004 and up. Also, too, see, this is a 2004 now. Basically, I think from 2005 on down has this. Now, if you want the other type of dash, which is like the one that you saw in this video, it's a little bit different. It has the RPM gauge. So I think the 2005 doesn't have that in down. So there's no RPM gauges until 2006, if I'm not mistaken. You know, you're going to check all the lights and all of that stuff and check engine lights and everything too. I mean, you can even bring a scanner tool with you too. You can surprise these jokers and bring one with you. Also too, man, if you hear any peculiar noises that you're not easy with, just put the hood down and kindly walk away from the car and tell the guy thank you for his time. Don't need to bullshit yourself and try to, you know, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel comfortable. Just do that. Just walk away, and maybe he may bring down the price a little bit, or I don't know. It all depends on you, but I would just basically just leave the car where the heck it's at. So, man, thank you guys for watching the episode of Build Something TV, man. Hope it will assist you guys on buying a Crown Victoria. Basically, it's the same situation if you're buying any other car. It's just that these cars have a little bit of trans issues. That's really the main issue. And some of the startup issues and stuff like that, man. You know, you got to check and see if they're using the Motorcraft oil filter and stuff like that. So, you know, just be diligent when you buying, because, you know, you guys using your hard-earned money to purchase something, and you want to make sure you got a good deal. If your car looks like this, which is not a good deal, it should be around 500 bucks. Shouldn't spend no $1,000 on a car that looks like this. So do not do that. You know what I mean? Make sure the trans shifts and everything else, because I wouldn't advise you to get a black and white car anyway, because you still have to paint it. So you best to get your unmarked detective car instead, and leave the patrol cars to me, because I like to buy things cheap and then fix on it. But you may have some situations where your back seats may look all perked out, like this one here. It's dirty in the heck back here. Yep, see all of this? Yeah, it's got the plastic seats in there. So if you got the plastic seats in there and you don't have this, you don't want this. You know what I'm saying? So don't get a patrol car that looks quite like that. Alright? Alright, man. So see you guys on the flip side, and hopefully we can get some parts for this car, man, and get it going, man. Check you guys out on the flip side.